Okay.
All right, Ms. Bruce, we're here to go over the last observation I did in your class, which you've already had a chance to look at the video and review it. So I'm just going to go over a few things with you. First one being, as far as the things that you do wonderful and you walk on water with, the first one was I noticed that all of your scholars seem to be engaged. There was one we talked about, which we'll talk about later, but everybody else was engaged and focused on you. You went around to each student to be assured that everyone had the correct location of the page in the book before you began, and you also checked to see that everybody had the supplies. I hear you say you point with your pencil, point with your eraser, use this part, and you went to every single person and literally almost touched them to make sure you had their attention, which I thought was awesome. You made reference to the scholars that had appropriate pages, and you supplied and their supplies, and you quickly presented that, and you also noticed the ones that were independent, didn't need any help. Right after you checked for compliance in those areas, you quickly began to teach, providing a visual on the board. So you didn't wait in between, you immediately went to it, which is exactly what we want you to do. Because if you wait too long, what could happen?
I start getting fidgety, start getting distracted,
Yeah,
chattering, talking.
yeah, but you went here, 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 every single person, and in between you even gave them accolades for having started or for doing different things, which was great. You were positive, your positive response was given when a child gave a correct answer, and you encouraged the other children to say, I can't remember how you did it, but I think you said spear fingers or something to acknowledge that the child had gotten a correct answer. I think that also helped to keep the engaging aspect from each child. You gave them think time, which is really necessary, and you utilized your turn and talk. So that was absolutely awesome. The areas that I thought you needed a little bit adjusting were, in fact, I'll let you tell me. There was one area that I thought, uh-oh, and what was that?
There was a kid asleep, disengaged, and sick, and I didn't send him to the office. I just let him be there quiet with their head down and disengaged.
Yeah, and for the sake of the video, it wasn't like he had his head down. He was on the floor sleeping.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you, maybe because he was so quiet, you forgot he was there? Or?
I think for an extent I forgot he was there, and I was just super focused on trying to keep the other, the class moving, and I was going to try to find a time to maybe help him out or send him to the front and write a note, but I forgot in the middle of the lesson. I was too engaged with trying to get the rest of them.
Gotcha. Did you notice when he walked around the room? He got up and
I think I walked up to see if it was going to be a disturbance. I noticed it, but I just ignored it and kept going.
Okay. So that one I know you already know. If somebody looks sick, you immediately send them to the office. If he needs help, we can get a BT to come in there and get him out of there and get him some help. There was one part of the section of the this was actually it. It was in 9 minutes, and you can go back and review that if you need to, but I know you've already seen it. Other than that, I wanted you to maybe just think about just for a second, and we've talked before about the volume, the quality of your voice. How do you think your voice was during?
It was definitely louder than I would personally like. I mean, it's just more tiring, just in general, I have to talk at that level.
Mm-hmm.
I know I often revert to it just to make sure that students that might not be as good oral listeners, if it was just louder, maybe that would cover it. But yeah, the tone was a little bit. It's louder than I ideally would want to be a teacher having to speak at.
Okay. So then that presents a dilemma, because sometimes sometimes I'll talk too low and I don't recognize it. How would you help yourself to be able to recognize when it's too loud?
One strategy I think that is having like kind of like a student council body to get feedback from, and so if I assign like a student in the front or one that's very conscious of it, like to remind me.
Like to give you a sign?
Like, give me a sign, yeah, like maybe the speak louder one, but for me it's speak lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I've never heard of that. I think that's awesome. Why don't you go ahead and write that one down? That'll help us remember, and it'll help me remember too, but also for you. But that's really cool. Get one of the students to help you realize that it's just a little bit loud.
Yeah.
And
sometimes I am recognizing, I stop, and I try to like lower it back down.
I think it takes a minute because that's been a lifelong style of ours.
Yeah.
So
I have a cylinder signal. to lower teaching voice level. Or, you know, sometimes we use it as a way to just speak over some of the little chit chatter, when instead I should probably just pause and wait.
So which child could you use to help you with your voice?
There's a couple, you know, excellent student leaders, possibly like Chelsea or Ricardo.
So we can tag, won't forget to tag them.
Maybe Chelsea, Ricardo.
I like that best. I was going to suggest, but see, I may not catch you from time to time if I'm in the hallway.
Yeah, they're there all day with me.
Yeah, so I can't think of a better strategy than that. Other than probably we'll have to look at with the firmness. You know how we always talk about with finesse and warm, strict. So you want to be strict, but you want to have a sense of warmth there. How could you exhibit more warmth? Which I have seen you do.
Yeah, I give them hugs when they walk in, if they so decide, or, you know, I'll make sure to walk around and give high fives when the student's doing well, or I'll whisper it when I'm walking by a student that normally has trouble sitting
really
in
cool.
their seat.
So I'm going to let you put that on there too. Put whisper,
Yeah.
and you said high five.
And I participate in their brain breaks with them. And, you know, I dance right alongside certain kids that I know I have to be more strict with, so that they know, you know, it's not,
That you're
you know,
still fun
it's
too.
just trying to make sure there's compliance with, you know, the expectation. Whisper,
You said high fives or accolades, like I did see you, you know,
High
give the
fives.
spirit fingers,
Yeah.
things like that. That will help you to remember.
stickers too.
Yep.
I give stickers. And sometimes I'll let the student that maybe has like more or less behavioral issues, but is doing an excellent, pass out the stickers instead of just my TA. Whisper, high five, stickers, and dojo points.
Dojo's good. That's positive.
Just warm. It's warm. Dojo. I also always try to give a quick praise report when their parent picks them up. If they've been,
That's
if
really
they're
good.
usually not the, you know, have rougher days.
Yes.
Quick praise, and it might be direct or indirect with the
Yeah.
parent there seeing it. I might directly tell them or say, you know,
But
good job
those
today.
all exhibit warmth.
Quick praise
That's good.
to parents. Yeah, well, just as firm as you gotta be just as warm, otherwise, you know, they'll hate you.
Yeah.
It's just
That's very, very good. Did you have any questions or anything?
No, thank you for helping me.
Okay. Just wonderful. Other than that, I think you were glowing. I think you did awesome. Thank you.
Working, trying.
Yep. We'll get it. Yes.